Alright, so today we are going to be talking about hyped up makeup I have never tried before, and I got this idea from OneBeautyAddict, so full credit for this idea goes to her, and I have like a list of stuff on my iPhone right here, and we're just going to get started. I've got 10 products to talk about, so hopefully this video isn't too long. The first product is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette, and I feel like that is pretty much self-explanatory because I was kind of interested in subculture and I just didn't end up getting it after all of the negative reviews, but there are some people who really enjoy that palette. I thought that the color story, like the color scheme of the palette, was so beautiful. And I know that a lot of people, like after the initial like subculture gate happened, after the initial horrible reviews, there was a lot of positive reviews that came out of people just saying like, no, this palette is actually really beautiful, you just have to kind of adjust the way you do your makeup with it. And I'm not down for that, really. Like, I don't really ever want to have to adjust the way that I put my makeup on to make a product work. I feel like a product should just work on its own without any extra steps to it. So that's the main reason why I haven't tried it. The second product is the Urban Decay Moondust palette, and that is because I swatched the palette in store and it was pretty much just a bunch of like glitter toppers. When I first saw the palette, I thought it was a bunch of really unique shimmers and I really wanted the palette, and I thought about it, and again, like after swatching it, it was just a bunch of like shimmer toppers, and a lot of people that I know that currently own the palette are very displeased with it and just want to get rid of it or use it up. So I'm really glad that I never bit the bullet on that one. Third product is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I would have tried this had I not tried the Tartelette Tease palette first. I don't want to come off as like super harsh, but I hated the Tartelette Tease palette so much. The shimmers were fine. The shimmers were beautiful and super metallic and I loved them. But the mattes were so patchy, and no matter how much time I spent blending, it never looked good, and they all like muddied up on me, and that has completely turned me off to all Tarte shadows. So I refuse to buy Tarte eyeshadows at this point because that one experience I had with them was so awful. The next product is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation, and I did swatch the foundation in store in Sephora like about a year ago, and I almost did buy it, but I couldn't find a shade that was close enough to my skin tone. But I really wanted to buy that foundation for the longest time because it ticks off like all of my boxes, like everything that I want in a foundation, like full coverage, matte, long wearing. I'm usually 100% for it, but I couldn't find my color in that range, and nobody ever really talks about that foundation anymore. So I'm assuming that the newer foundations that are out there are better, but I don't know. It's just a product I've never tried. I wouldn't be against trying it, but I don't know. It's just not on my radar right now. The next product is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I did initially wanted to try this when it first came out. I want to say it came out in like 2015, around there, but I'm an oily skinned girl, and that is like a more dewy foundation, and as beautiful as it looks initially on everybody's skin, when I saw oily people reviewing the foundation, it broke down on their skin pretty fast, and that is not something I want in a foundation. I would try it as like my winter foundation, maybe. I know that Jackie Aina just recently released like 8 new shades and completely extended the shade range for that foundation, and that makes me so happy because I saw some people saying that now they can find a foundation match for them when they barely ever could before. I know some people who really only can find their perfect foundation match in Fenty Beauty foundation, and that is really sad. I hate that. Next is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and again, like there's no reason why I haven't really tried this. It's just that it just never really looked that appealing to me. I'm not a fan of like that sponge tip applicator. I like doe foot applicators for concealer. So yeah, I just never tried it, even though everybody always raves about it. Everybody always says that it's such a beautiful concealer with beautiful coverage and it looks really brightening under the eye. I've never tried it. The next product is the Laura Geller highlighter in the color Gilded Honey. I was so close to buying this a couple of years ago because a couple of years ago, back when highlighting had like just become like all the rage, everybody, and I mean everybody, was raving about this highlighter, and nobody ever talks about it anymore. And I just, at this point, I don't really have any interest in trying it because it's just a gold highlighter. There are many, many gold highlighters on the market. My favorite gold highlighter is MAC Oh Darling, and that looks to be pretty similar to Laura Geller Gilded Honey, so I don't really need that. The next product is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primers, and again, I've owned them before because I think when you buy a naked palette, you get like a little sample of it, and I never tried it. I threw away my sample when I had my Naked 2 palette because eyeshadow primer is not something that I need in my collection. I do have like oily combo skin, but my eyelids don't get oily. My eyeshadow stays in place pretty well throughout the day, so I don't ever need eyeshadow primer. Like concealer or foundation on my eyelids works just fine for me, so I don't ever buy eyeshadow primer. And I've tested out eyeshadow primers before, and there is no major difference, so I don't need it. And that's pretty much the same for my next product, which is the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. Again, that was all the rage. Back when everybody on YouTube was using MAC everything, everybody used soft ochre or Painterly Paint Pot to prime their lids, and pretty much it's the same story as the Urban Decay one. I just don't need eye primer. And my 10th and last product is my Anastasia Contour Kit. Well, not my Anastasia Contour Kit, the Anastasia Contour Kit. I never bought it. Back when I was in the market for a contour kit, I was going back and forth between the Anastasia one and the Kat Von D one, and ultimately I did decide to go with the Kat Von D, and I don't really regret it. I heard like the Anastasia one was extremely hyped up, but when I went to look at the Sephora reviews, which to be honest, I trust the Sephora reviews more than I trust a lot of like YouTube reviews, if I'm being honest. When I looked at those reviews, people were saying that it was patchy and muddy, and a lot of people actually said the Kat Von D one was a better formula. And back then, when I bought it back in like 2015, really the only two huge contour palettes out were the Anastasia and the Kat Von D. So I just chose Kat Von D over that, and I don't regret it. I will not ever be trying that just because I have discovered over the years that I don't need a whole separate contour product. Like a lot of the time I just bronze my skin, and I don't even go in with contour, and even when I do contour, I can pretty much just use the bronzer that I'm using to bronze my skin, because pretty much none of my bronzers, except for the Becca one that I'm panning, are super, super warm toned and orangey, so I tend to lean towards bronzers that are more on the neutral side of things, so I can use that one product as both steps in my makeup routine. So yeah, that was the list of hyped up products I have never tried. If you have tried any of these products and you think that I would like them, then please comment down below. Obviously I'm on a no-buy, so I can't try them anyway, but I might consider picking up a couple of these things like the Amazonian Clay Foundation once my no-buy is completely over in November. And if there are any products that are hyped up that you have never tried, let me know in the comment section down below. It's always interesting to me like why people decide to not buy hyped up products, because I feel like here on YouTube especially, you can get really swept into the hype, and as soon as somebody says that they're obsessed with something, or as soon as somebody puts something in their favorites videos, it's like sold out in the next minute. So yeah, just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already to make sure you can stick around for the next one, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!